I told you guys that the ship was leaking oil over there with the radical right. You know, these guys, when Charlie Kirk was unalive, they wanted to put him on money. They wanted a national holiday with him. I mean, everybody was jumping on the Charlie Kirk bandwagon, trying to make money off of, clout off of him being unalive, right? Everybody was getting in on it. Everybody was getting in on the Charlie Kirk's unalive, and they was making money hand over fist with those videos. It was crazy. Now they calling Charlie Kirk LGBTQ.
Somebody tweeted today that Candace said that she believed that they were about to get a divorce. I think he was gay, and I think he was gay. And
come on, you know that you do know that I've criticized.
What?
Like I'm sorry, Tim, but like, why would you even go there? Like to say something like that?
Oh, I'll tell you why.
No. The man's dead. You're calling now. You think he's gay.
That's when people can talk. That's when people can tell the truth.
Now, 3 months ago, Tim Pool and all those guys were going crazy on anybody that would say anything disparaging about Charlie Kirk. They wanted their careers taken from them. They was coming after you. You said anything about Charlie Kirk. People was getting fired from jobs. It was all kinds of stuff. So now Tim Pool, he has guests on the podcast that's calling him LGBTQ. They're talking about, well, maybe him and his wife was about to get a divorce. He's saying all kinds of stuff. And Tim Pool was over there laughing. It's just a joke. Tim Pool put holy F. Jimmy went beyond doubling down, insulting all those mourning Charlie Kirk because they can't take a joke. So all of these people, regardless of whatever Charlie Kirk might have said about other groups, they was coming out defending Charlie Kirk's rhetoric. It was everything. I'm talking about if you got caught saying anything about Charlie Kirk, they was coming. So now on this Tim Pool's podcast, this guest is on there going in. And that guy Santos dude, he was the only one that was in there really trying to take up for Charlie Kirk.
No, I disagree.
That's what I think this is because let me tell you why. Okay, and if you want to read in a vindictive crusade on my part for everything I've just said, you are entitled to do so, and so are the viewers. But I'll tell you what happened. I'll tell you what Charlie Kirk did to me. Charlie was a very brilliant, very brilliant organizer, fundraiser, networker. Those 3 things, phenomenal. Probably the best in the business, maybe. Certainly one of the top 2, 3. Amazing at those things. But he was also very ruthless. He was a very ruthless person who spent a long time excising and excommunicating all of the most interesting people in politics from the right wing. He did it for a decade. Everybody knows it. Nobody said it because it's not polite in the aftermath of his death.
Charlie gave a platform.
Let me finish. He gave a platform to lily-livered, centrist, weak frauds and prostitutes and drag queens. What he also did at that same time, and anybody in power, what he also did at that same time was systematically extinguish the light of anybody who could not be controlled. And I'm one of them, and I'm going to tell you why.
So Milo was on there blowing the whistle on everybody. Now, this is a guy that claims to be an insider that knew everybody, and he was calling it all out. He was like, listen, he wasn't pulling no punches. From Alex Jones, etc. Everybody was getting that smoke. And he was saying that all these dudes are backdoor bandits. All these dudes go visit Brock Backshots and Johnny Man Opener, during the weekends. They have those weekend retreats, right? Where they have, Boys of Steel and Lost Midshipmen 4, right? The Navy edition starring Brock Backshots and Johnny Man Opener. Yeah, they're on that boat. All men, all bros, no hoes. They got all that stuff going on, right? He was calling all that stuff out. Stuff that we've been talking about for years, right? I mean, he wasn't pulling no punches, man.
One of the most distinctive things about the right wing in this country is its homosexual overtones. Benny Johnson posts pictures of his children every 2 days. It's weird. And everybody knows what went on with Benny Johnson in those lobbies and in those hotel rooms at SAS. Everybody knows.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Men. Younger men, not underage. At least I don't know that. His wife was crying drunk in the lobby 3 sasses in a row about how her husband was upstairs with boys.
Come on.
Go Oscar. As a result of it.
What about Alex?
And he does it. I just wish Alex would tell the truth about his sexuality. But you... no, there's something about...
You gotta stop saying that. Everybody is not gay just because
in conservative media. Yes, they are.
No, stop.
Yes, they are.
Strangely, a lot of them are. Though.
No, they are.
But the ones who are out
Look
about
who's talking.
I'm gay. I've never said I'm not gay.
Look who's talking. Listen.
Kind of just complain about things.
You're not malleable, so you're not of value to them. After you tell them that. No?
Indeed, absolutely.
Right.
So there are personalities out there that You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to throw some shade. How about we do that? Brandon Tatum.
Don't do it. Oh, please. Feed it directly into my brain.
He canceled on us. He once canceled on us because we were actually at Turning Point. And I bumped
names I can't even say on this show.
I bumped in.
And I love all of them.
So
his truck's not paid off.
Okay. So
all that money from Israel, and he still hasn't paid his truck off.
So let me tell you the story. And these are the things they say don't say. Because there's no reason to say it. You're going to burn bridges and people are fans. So I bumped into him backstage at Turning Point. And he said something like, hey, man, I'll see you tomorrow. And I was like, oh, are you coming on the show? And he was like, yeah. And I was like, awesome, dude. It'll be great to have you. So he canceled right away. And apparently I was told that he was offended that I didn't know he was booked.
So I've been telling you guys that the shit was leaking oil for a long time. Because whenever you have something that's created in hate, it's only going to last but for so long. And these guys are super racist. And they, the thing is, they don't hide nothing about it. They want to make America great again. When has America ever been great for indigenous Americans, African Americans, and the Native Americans, the Asians, and all these, those Asian groups, those different groups that's been here from the beginning of America? When has that ever been great for us? It's never been great for us. So, listen, they don't hide nothing about the way that they feel. These people believe that the only reason why we got rights in this country is because they gave it to us. If it was up to them, we'd be still in plantations. We'd be still hanging from trees. They'll be still in control. They believe that they have to dumb themselves down to be less of themselves in order to let us have freedoms. They believe this. So you can't really have conversations with people like this, the Tim Pools and all these guys, right? So I'm not defending no Brandon Tatum, but they going in on Brandon Tatum, and they wasn't finished.
I don't really have that much to say about him other than, like, that was a bad experience. But the overt pro-Israel stuff that he posts...
It's so crazy. It's so counterproductive.
Agreed. And there's a lot of people doing this.
It reminds me, doesn't it remind you of the DeSantis supporters who lost the nomination?
So, Milo, let's have a therapy session, and I'll tell you what I'm thinking. We've got a handful of right-wing influencers who were caught getting paid to promote India, sugary drinks, and gambling websites.
Elijah, India.
Indeed. And there are people like Brandon Tatum who make the most... When people say 7K, I'm just like, bro, with all due respect, his posts are so over the top, pro-Israel, and ineffective.
70. Yeah.
Well, no, he's being paid less. They're terrible.
It's funny he came out to support Candace. I didn't see that coming, actually. Black thing. But I thought it was interesting, an interesting alliance or temporary alliance, because he's like inverse Candace, like where she is a genius, like media, like mastermind. He is the dumbest. I'm not going to say the word. I've never seen anybody like get.
I don't want to get too specific on a person, on an individual.
Excuse me. Some of the behavior that I have.
No. I'm not trying to. I'm saying I want to have a broader idea conversation and not just.
We can move on.
We can complain about people, but basically, what I'm seeing is tons of people that are clearly getting paid to promote Israel.
Yep.
It's vomitous.
Yes.
Tons of people who are getting busted doing these cringe campaigns they're not disclosing. Vomitous. People who are chasing the dragon on the anti-Israel stuff. Largely irrational. And Candace is a component of this. The vagaries of her show is demoralizing. And when I look at the field of conservatives and I say, I am putting myself at risk with death threats, with having to hire security for everything I do. My wife can't go to the grocery store with having a security guard with her. Yep. For these people? Now, for the regular people, I'd crawl over broken glass.
Yeah.
But this space is dominated by wealthy individuals
who don't pay their trucks off.
So these guys, man, they go in on Brandon Tatum and they, basically calling Brandon Tatum an idiot. Now, Brandon Tatum, he goes out of his way to talk down on the black community and ingratiate himself over there with them, and they don't want him. But then they go in on Candace Owens. They go in on the support of the protected class, right? Because these guys now, they no longer support that group, right? That we all know. They don't support them. So you have a whole large portion of the radical right that there's been a split and a shift. And they're not supporting that radical right. Tim Pool is one of those guys that's since the unaliving of Charlie Kirk, he's come out and they all been fighting for those positions, because there's a lot of donations, a lot of money involved, and the talking points and the rhetoric that they use to push the GOP up, right? So you have some that fund anti that group. You have some that fund pro that group, right? And all these people, they're fighting for position. So now what they're doing is they're going against each other. They're calling each other out. The ship is sinking. It's leaking oil, man. And Tim Pool, he can't stand Candace Owens. They calling Charlie Kirk LGBTQ. They're laughing about it, but they wasn't finished. They was really going in on Candace.
Question is very simple. I mean, we need the rogues of the world in politics. They are there is a strategicness to having people, outliers like Lauren Boebert, Marjorie Taylor Greene.
We both in that category.
Like myself, Matt Gaetz, when he was there. There is a benefit to them because they disrupt the school of fish that the analogy you use, right? So I look at it in a two-pronged situation. I think Candace hurts everyone. Candace puts everyone, hear me out. People like Candace. People like Candace who are doing what Candace is doing on an election year that is absolutely vital to, the control of government. Hold on, Milo.
We heard that every year.
Milo,
Like
no. I'm not saying this is the most important campaign election because it's bull. I'm not going to sit here.
I say it
to respect to you, Tim. We hear that every 2 years.
It doesn't matter that much.
My point is, what she's doing is fracturing the base in a time where it's very sensitive because
is
what
she
happens
fracturing the base or is she fracturing it or
fracturing
is she taking it?
She's fractured the base because we're having an example here. I consider myself to be part of the base. I know you do too. You're on her side. I'm not. This and Tim too, and you're in a room. I don't know where everybody stands, but
former congressman, you can't call yourself part of the vote.
She's absolutely fracturing the base.
See, what I hear, and I can't believe I'm taking up for Candace Owens. Oh my God. But what I hear is jealousy because you have a black person that's now at the forefront of the base, which was centered around racism and them being the apex of knowledge of everything, right? They have their commander-in-chief in office. He's kicking everybody out the country. He's saying, make America great again. Charlie Kirk was the young guy with Turning Point USA, leading the crusade for a whole bunch of young W folks to follow on with those old school patriarchal male W traditions. He gets unalived, right? And now at the forefront is a black woman. And they are pissed off. They are livid, right? Now, mind you, she ain't no ally to the black community. Don't get me wrong, right? And a lot of them are upset. A lot of black people are leaving MAGA because of the FBA delineation, us separating ourselves. So a lot of those talking points isn't working anymore either. That's why Candace made her shift. She saw the shift coming. When she saw black Americans start going FBA and ADOS, and we start saying, hey, yo, those groups ain't with us. They don't speak for us, right? She understood that the dominant society knew, oh man, wait a minute, they separate themselves from the other black groups, so we can't use certain blacks to now cosplay as them and just speak like they represent the black American community. So now there's no more money in that. There's no more money being a tether talking down on the black community because we already saying that they're not us. They don't speak for us. They're not part of our group. So now that don't work. So now what Candace did was make a shift. Her shift came not because she felt bad and start going in on that protected class. She saw black Americans start waking up and saying, you're not us. You're not us. Now, does that mean that all groups are tethers? No. But those tethers that was coming here, cosplaying us with a W husband, a W wife, talking down on us, getting a bunch of money to come in and go in on the black community and build platforms where they was using talking points that the W people couldn't say. So they would put a black face in that space to talk that way. We now saying, no, they ain't us, man. So Candace now is over there now going on that protected class, and those radical right-wing people are pissed off because they got her. She's on the platform now getting 200,000 and 300,000 people coming to watch her. W folks. All those racist W folks is over there watching Candace. They all over there supporting Candace against TPUSA. So now that's the problem. But with that being said, these radical right guys now, they don't like Charlie Kirk no more. They don't support Charlie Kirk no more. Charlie Kirk got a wife. They saying that he was about to leave his wife for some manhole. He was married, but he was chasing manhole all of a sudden. This guy is a lover of manhole. That's what they saying. So y'all gotta let me know what y'all think, man. If you made it this far in the video, hit that like button. They're saying that behind closed doors, he was dating Johnny Man Opener and Brock Backshots. That's what they saying. I'm not saying it. They saying it in the video. Let me know what you guys think, man. If you made it this far in the video, hit that like button, subscribe to Street Media TV. Remember, I love y'all. Till next time. Peace.